又叫做學成，當局就特別放丹頂鶴，祝神七成功。過萬人喺呢卷100米長嘅白卷上面簽名，紀念神舟7號載人航天圓滿成功。劉伯明同翟志剛屋企人亦都一齊簽名留念。
這幾天啊，心一直懸着。還有呢？還有就是很緊張，好像不敢表露出來，但是內心裡很緊張。為什麼呢？畢竟是太空啊。
有什麼跟哥哥說？
哥哥回來的就是太好了，哥哥能平安回來就足夠了。
再加上回來我頭一個說就是你們航天員都是好樣。
過千名師生啦，特別齊集埋喺呢一度咧嚟慶祝神七成功着陸。佢哋話翟志剛同劉伯明都係嚟自黑龍江齊齊哈爾市，所以感到特別驕傲。無線電視記者鄭思婷喺黑龍江齊齊哈爾報道。
咁雖然頭先呢，翟志剛嘅哥哥就話咧，佢嘅家庭就冇乜大變化，咁不過咧，市政府咧聽日就要為啦咁劉伯明啦咁同埋翟志剛屋企人啦咁贈送航天英雄之家嘅牌匾㗎。咁喺呢度報一段落，咁先交翻俾新聞部啊。
好啊，唔該晒嘉文。咁總理溫家寶啦喺北京航天城啦向工作人員致意㗎。我哋一齊睇下現場嘅畫面先。而家可以睇到啦，總理溫家寶啦逐一向工作人員係握手致意㗎。咁剛才啦總指揮啦常萬全啦已經係講咗話，今次呢個神七任務咧係圓滿成功啦。我哋亦都見到啦係3位嘅航天員啦已經係到達咗。而家見到啦總理溫家寶啦就啱啱同楊利偉咧係握完手㗎。咁今次啦能夠成功完成任務啦，3個航天員啦抵達地面嘅時候咧，心情都係好興奮㗎。咁剛才咧翟志剛亦都講到啦，話為祖國咧係感到驕傲添。咁工作人員咧頭先就向佢哋獻咗花束啦，咁並且咧係佢哋係坐喺個接凳嗰度休息啦，咁啊扶佢哋離開㗎。咁總理溫家寶啦，剛才就講過啦，就話神七嘅成功啦係中國航天發展嘅里程碑嚟㗎。
神舟7號載人航天飛行圓滿成功，實現了我國空間技術發展具有里程碑意義的重大跨越，標誌着我國成為世界上第3個獨立掌握空間出艙關鍵技術的國家。這是我國航天科技領域的又一重大勝利。
而喺本港方面咧，唔少市民就喺街上面咧睇電視直播㗎，見證住神舟7號着陸嘅情況。由柳俊江報道。
連續2日嘅晏晝，旺角行人專用區嘅大電視下面都逼滿晒市民，大家都好緊張太空人嘅安危。到着陸一刻，觀眾一齊鼓掌。
中國人第一次出艙啊嘛，咁而佢睇到佢安全翻落嚟，梗係好開心啦。作為中國人，梗係有一份光榮感咯。
呢個咁大嘅任務完成咗之後，梗係要安全着陸翻嚟，大家開心下啦，大家都好高興啊！
民族精神好緊要啊！奧運之後跟住神舟翻嚟啦，咁覺得哇，真係我哋中國而家可以喺國際社會達到真係好高嘅地位咯。
連日嚟呢度已經成為本港以及內地傳媒報導嘅焦點，亦都反映到香港市民一直都關注住神七任務嘅進展。有市民話咧，希望翟志剛緊嘅太空人咧都可以好似以前嘅太空人咁樣嚟到香港，同佢哋一齊分。
世林，你能聽到我的聲音嗎？
好，萬林，我聽到你的聲音，給我們介紹一下現場的情況。
好，現在您可能在鏡頭裏邊可以看到有的很多的這個工作人員舉着一個祖國萬歲，我們現在看不清楚他們是哪個系統的，但是呢，從這個剛才成功的一刻起，從溫家寶總理離開這個飛控大廳，這裡就成了一片歡騰的海洋。原來呢，這裡是非常安靜的，也非常井然的有序。那麼在神6的時候，我們也見到過這個場景，那麼現在這種場景又重現了。現在呢是每一個以系統為單位。 每一个系统呢都非常有序的，现在就走到前面的这个主席台这个位置，就是刚才温总理讲话的这个位置，以系统为单位呢合影留念，每个人都是用他们最大的热情来记录来感受这一刻。那么都是一个团队一个团队上来的。原来呢，在飞控大厅里边呢，每天只能保证120个人左右在工作。那么现在呢，是整个系统原来在默默无闻的在周边的一些小的办公室里工作的人呢，现在一下子都在胜利结束这个任务之后呢，都涌到了这个飞控大厅。那么这个飞控大厅呢，我们也可以知道，它真的是非常枢纽的一个非常中枢的一个部门。因为像刚才，尤其在返回的各个程序呢，都是从这里发出指令，每一条这个飞控指令都从这里发出，每一个按键都在这里是这个行使这个在这个发挥作用。那么现在你看，现在这个系统呢，应该是测控系统的系统的总师呢，钱总他呢在和他们的战友们在一些跟他的同事们在这里合影。那么现在你看主席台上又是一个系统，他们在那里都在向他们的这个同伴们致意。这个时候可能能留下最难忘的一刻，这是他们真的是把自己这个连续多日来的这种疲累啊，都已经一扫而光了。尤其是给我们留下深刻印象的就是"祖国万岁"那4个字。其实呢，通过这次报道，我们也感觉到，的确是感觉到祖国真的很伟大，而且这些航天人也都很伟大。所以现在呢，这种，您听他们在欢呼，
他们在向我们的镜头。
这里边有我们很多我们熟悉的身影，他们都是各个部和这个各个计划部啊，还有各个工作室的一些主任、副主任。在前面都是这些直接参与这个飞控任务的人员，你看他们都很年轻，有的极个别的专家呢是满头华发，但是呢，更多的呢都是30、40岁的青年人。
好，谢谢万玲。
你看左边这个，好，
好，谢谢万玲。我们的记者万玲呢，和在航天飞行控制中心的这些工作人员们一样啊，他也是沉浸在这样的成功的喜悦中。就像王南华教授刚才讲到的，如果您要是在现场的话，您肯定也是要参与到这个庆祝中，因为我觉得这个太不容易了。3年的时间，就像在我们
different countries, for example, a module by Europe, a module by Brazil. How do they distribute the functions to each nation?
Well, each nation that wants to participate is entirely free to choose what they want to do on their module. There is the European Columbus module, there's the Japanese module, there's a Canadian participation, the manipulator arm is Canadian. There are the Russian modules, the American modules. Each one of them is designed independently. To some degree, of course, they're coordinated to avoid duplication. But each participating nation decides what they want to do.
So is there a coordination institution that handle this process?
The coordination of the launching and servicing and the construction of the station is of prime importance, and yes, that is done very carefully.
Mm-hmm. And we're also thinking about the role of China and U.S. cooperation, because this summer the Vice Director of NASA visited China. And in what areas do you think China can join hands with the U.S. for space exploration?
I would like to see coordinated missions. This does not require exchange of hardware, but it entails a Chinese spacecraft and an American spacecraft working together on a problem to get in which each can contribute in a different way. Again, with minimizing the duplication or overlap of the effort and maximizing the complementarity of the two missions. This could easily be done.
What does the complementarity lie here?
In the case of
U.S.
the moon,
is strong in what area and China is strong in what area?
Not necessarily area. It could be that you're talking about different locations on the moon. It would be quite possible for China and the United States to develop landing payloads which land in different locations and with the data being shared freely between them. It's possible for some experiments on the moon, such as seismic experiments, to profit greatly from having sensors landed in many different locations, perhaps by different nations, and then electronically linked to each other so that you can produce seismic...
The moon exploration.
The moon or Mars, same principle for Mars.
And what about the ambitions of the most developed nation in this area, the United States? What are the plans does the U.S. have for space exploration?
Well, the
Obviously,
plans for the moon entail the development of, first of all, a series of unmanned missions to settle certain basic science and engineering questions, then building a lunar base. That lunar base would probably be manned episodically. It wouldn't be absolutely continuously manned. That base would be a place that could be visited and used by other people. The lunar exploration program remains open to participation by other countries.
You mean the lunar project is still open to other countries to join in?
Yes, it is. And indeed, China was one of the nations invited to participate in the original announcement and the planning process. I think the same principle applies, but with even greater flexibility, to the exploration of Mars. Mars is a big planet. It has as much land area as Earth.
You mean there's much more landing areas than the moon?
No, I mean
Mars.
The solid surface on Mars is as large as the solid surface on Earth.
Okay, so we can land on the Mars if we have the available technology and resources.
Yes, and unmanned missions to Mars could be launched with the Long March 3 right now.
But what are holding us back from getting there?
Well, one thing, of course, is that with the resources that China is putting into space activities, manned space activities, there is an internal competition for money. And the Long March 3 also has other uses, launching communication satellites, moon probes, and so on. So it requires not only a financial plan, but also a launch vehicle utilization plan and a launch site plan.
So there are many plans for space exploration. We have to think very carefully before we're carrying out our missions in different areas.
Yes.
Well, you're watching a special program, Journey to Space, our coverage on Shenzhou 7. Shenzhou 7 has successfully returned to the Earth and finished its mission in the space. And now we're heading back to my colleague, Edwin Marr, in the news studio for more news coverage. Edwin.
Thanks very much, So Yue, and thank you to your colleagues as well for that very thorough analysis and very exciting return of Shenzhou 7. Stand by, you're with CCTV International. Stand by for Worldwide Watch. The Shenzhou 7 successfully finishes its historic space journey, landing safely in China's Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region. Chinese Premier Wen Jiabao and Singaporean Senior Minister Goh Chok Tong officially launch a bilateral project in Tianjin. US congressional leaders and the Bush administration reach a tentative deal to bail out imperiled financial markets. And the UN Security Council approves a new resolution that will reaffirm sanctions on Iran over its nuclear program. Ni hao, and a very warm welcome to Worldwide Watch on CCTV International. I'm Edwin Marr in Beijing. Shenzhou 7 has wrapped up its historic mission. The three astronauts made a soft landing on the grassland of the Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region less than an hour and a half ago. Sun Wei reports. Well, it was Sunday afternoon. Mission accomplished. Shenzhou 7 made its soft landing at 5:37 p.m. And about 10 minutes later, search and rescue teams arrived at the site. They opened the hatch and helped the three astronauts out, all of them in good condition. And there were certainly some very happy people watching at the Beijing Aerospace Command and Control Center as the 3 astronauts were helped out of the capsule and sat down and